Yesterday, Golang version 1.16 officially came out. With that came some minor improvements and fixes. But what caught my eye the most is the new embed package. It allows you to add files to your Golang binary on compile time. The main benefit of this is portability, since everything required can now fit into a single executable. Before, when you had a complex project with some configuration files, maybe some static content you needed to serve up, you'd have to make sure that wherever you deployed your Golang binary, those files did too, in the same relative position. In many cases, this can be quite a hassle, but not anymore. Now, you can make the compiler embed those files into your binary on compile time, so you can have a single executable file. There are a couple ways to embed your files into your application. The easiest two are reading the file content directly into a string or byte array. Last but not least, you can embed an entire directory/file system using embed.fs. It essentially allows you to interact with the file system as if it were actually there, as long as those interactions are read-only. So before we start, let's create a file, call it example.txt. And then let's write something in here, for example, right? And then we come in here and we make a new variable. Let's call it f for file, and type is a string. Then we go here and we do go colon embed, and then the name of the file, which is example.txt. Then we need to import the embed package, but because we're not actually using any embed functions, we need to use an underscore and then say embed, and that will work fine. Then if we go in the main function and we say fmt.println_f, you'll see that it will just print the content of this string. So we'll do go run main.go, and voila. If we built this, for example, go build main.go, and then we run it, you can see it still works. And if we delete the file, yes, and then we do go run main.go, you'll see it won't work. It says no files found. But if we run the executable that we compiled earlier when the file was still there, you see that it will still work. Let's create another file and call it data.json. Name is Mathis, and age is an integer, let's say 19. And then we go in main.go and we define this struct. And then we're going to define our variable, call it data, for example, D for data. And then we do go embed data.json like we did before. Then we can go in here and we can do fmt.println d, and I guess I'll show you, you can just convert it into a string as well. So the type really doesn't matter that much. But I guess it's more for convenience that you can choose which one of the two you want. Let's run this. And as you can see, it prints the JSON and it prints the bytes. Now, what if you wanted to unmarshal this into the struct person? We'll first create our person, so var p is person. Then we do underscore equals JSON dot unmarshal, and then the data, so D, and then a pointer to p. And then I guess we can print out p, so fmt.println. Actually, let's do printf. Then I guess we can get rid of this, and then we'll run it. And as you can see, that works fine. If we now build this again, go build main.go, and then we delete these files, so get rid of this, and then we run this main, you can see it still works. But if we try to build this, obviously it doesn't, because the files are not there anymore. Now let's take a deeper dive into the file system part of the embed package. If you're a Golang developer, this should be pretty familiar to you. We have a plain old HTTP server serving up some static files in the static file folder. Now if we go to its address, you can see that we can open up both these files, and as you can see, that works fine. But as you can imagine, if we remove those files and we just run the main binary, those files will not show up there. So what we can do instead is we can use the embed package to embed these images into our binary. So let's first create a variable for our static file system. Let's call it f for folder, and then we do embed.fs. And then here we say go embed static. And then in here, instead of http.dir, we can do fs and then f. And if we run this again, it should work fine. So let's go back to our Chrome, and voila, as you can see, we have our things here. So let's open these up, and they're still the same. Now let's build this. Main.go, and then we'll remove the static folder, and then we run our executable, As you can see, if we reload this, boom, it's still there. But the files are not there anymore, which means that it's actually embedded into our file. I hope this somewhat summarizes the embed package. Thank you.